Oh, hey everybody. Welcome to the Kaze-kan 2020 podcast. It's to date this section of our time of history. It is
Did you
June
say
7th.
date?
Yeah, to
What is this
date,
date you speak of?
we're dating this podcast by saying it is June 7th, 2020. A lot of crazy stuff has happened. If you don't know what we're talking about, then I guess you live not under a rock, but apparently you live at the center of the Earth's core because that's the only way I could process you not knowing what's going on. So, with that being said, we could go into it, but we're going to go into just what we usually do. Like we said, we stand by on we're trying to keep anything to a minimum. I know there's a lot of touchy subjects out there, but understand that trust me, it's coming from Mean Mug and us. We're not the
If you
last
want to
person.
listen to politics and news, this ain't the podcast.
It's coming
Although
from,
we have our own opinions, but that's more off podcast.
yeah, me and him actually talk about it. We actually talked to a couple of our friends the other day. We got some food. But it was a decent discussion. A lot of things though kind of just got jumbled up because a lot of people want to hear themselves talk, and that's what we do. But
Instead of actually having a conversation like we're so used to. But that
yeah,
that's
but
that's for
overall,
bonus if
yeah,
we ever make it that far.
yeah, we it was easy to keep it civil. Most of us in the car, we just kind of had our said our pieces. We all have issues. We it's not that we don't disagree, but the way we want to handle things are a little bit different, but we all kind of want the same end goal, and that's to not get screwed over so easily this year. That's like the mantra. Like, let's not let this year destroy what we've created. And we do
Yep.
care about these issues. Trust us. It's coming from a black and Hispanic uh, backgrounds for both of us. We're not the last. We're not like just saying that because we're trying to save face. We're like we're kind of on the forefront when it comes to those topics. So it's not that we're against talking about it. It's just I don't think this is the our stadium is our little soapbox is enough to cover it. There's so many people that have a higher voice than us, and we'd rather just talk to the people who want to just just take a break from that. They're probably we're kind of like the rest stop for you guys. We're not really the freight train. You gotta give your body that break. You gotta give your brain that mental health break. And I think that's the best way to do it is to just not saying we're
Speaking of
not.
brave, we have been watching some stuff here and there.
Yeah, and that's I think what we're gonna segue into was we've been watching a lot of anime, and I haven't been playing a lot of video
Some new,
games.
some old.
Yeah, I recently actually sat down and just watched the Netflix's version of Neon Genesis. Um, but before I get into that, the other series, because this one I want to talk about more. I'll get into that one later. I just finished the saga of Tanya the Evil, the series and the movie, and
Yeah.
boy, that was actually pretty fun. Disclaimer though, if you're going to jump into this series, the movie is available on Crunchyroll but if you have a Verve account, be careful because Verve has a weird way of categorizing the show. So the movie had four different versions.
Huh?
Yeah, it's not like anything different. All it was is that it was subtitled different. So I thought the first one would be it, but no,
Okay.
it was a French version, and then there was a Portuguese version, and then I had to like figure out what. And then I clicked on the last. This is for the movie, mind you. The last movie was the one that was English subtitled. But for some reason, it ended a little early, and I don't know why. I ended up watching the ending on my phone, cause yeah, Verb was acting up that day. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. Just had lunch, dinner. But overall, for my impressions of the show and the movie, I like the show. I like the movie. Um, I can't wait to see more if they actually dive into it.
Well, there's gonna be more. It's just with how things are right now. A lot of things are being pushed back till next year, which is making me sad because there's like so much good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and that's all we can really do is
But
wait.
health is more important, so the waiting game.
Yeah. So, what to say about Tanya the Evil? This it's great. I think what helps is that the voice actress for the again watch the Japanese one. The voice actress for Tanya is just really good.
Yeah, I like it for the characters.
Yeah, and surprisingly, there you would think that this character it revolves solely around one character. Now it doesn't really go into depth of her squad, but they're they have some moments where they interact with each other, and it actually seems like they see people like this is how people would have acted if they were in war,
Yep.
and that's good. It's really good. Like she's not completely heartless to her teammates. If they die, they die. That's cold cut. That's war. But
Yep. But when she do her job though, that's different.
yeah, it's cool because you could. It's really some people may not see it, but I like how the voice actors can sort of again. So it's not really a spoiler, but it is a isekai for anybody who hasn't heard of it. And if that's a no go for you, then I'm sorry, but that shouldn't be a forefront. But in the beginning, he was a businessman, a cold, clean cut, fired anybody regardless of their not being able to feed their family if they lose their job. And that actually ends up costing him because the guy he fires push him in front of a train. Time stops. He gets into a kerfuffle, a conversation to what was proclaimed as God, which he refers to as being X because he has no belief in that.
Hmm.
So basically, this God puts him in a world where he probably has a really high percent chance of dying, which is in a world that's constantly at war. Uh, it's pretty much just a new universe World War One anime series, but with magical technology. What else? But again, the voice actress has to emulate what that character was because if she was just a anime uh, girl that just said her lines, it wouldn't fit. But the voice I don't know the name, and that's my end. Sorry, but the voice actress for Tanya actually feels like she's embodying her past life, which was the soulless businessman. It's really interesting how this actress can make it seem like it's a male person who was she actually talks like somebody who was reincarnated, like it was a totally different person in a different life.
But they don't know that, so
Yeah,
that's what adds to it too.
but it also has a great sense of
Because they
humor.
just see her as a crazy kid that's just trying to eat.
Yeah. Oh, the facial expressions on Tanya are amazing. That's another thing that makes it work when she like gets into her serious mode. Like the expressions, that's what makes this series really shine to show like how people are acting.
It's like that how that captain was like, "Why are you fighting in this war? Aren't you just a kid?" Yes, I am.
So basically, this 9-year old kid gets attacked during her training, and she pretty much kamikazes herself and she becomes a war hero, all at the age of 9. But
Yep.
thinking that injury would probably put her in the back in some cozy cushion office job, it's like, nope, let's
Nope.
put you up in the forefront.
Because we need crazy people like you.
Yeah, yeah. Um, let's see. Oof. I was about to say something else. Oh man, I love my train of thought. Anyway, her assistant's pretty fun. Weiss, I like him. I like that serious tone he has. The movie is really good too. Like it's a more of a continuation left off what happens in season one, and it's just like the character. There's a character without. It's not really a spoiler, but there's a character who had a child, and that child wants revenge on Tanya, and pretty much,
Gives her a run for the money.
yeah, this character is only trying to kill the main character, and it just and the way Tanya defeats her is so satisfying because it's just it's just oof, it's ice cold.
It's like, who the hell are you?
No, but I really like it. You know, it's I like the combat, aerial combat. It's like magical girls with dog fighting of World War I and all that. But it's fun. I really like the scene in the movie where one of her, oof, he's kind of like the fatter looking character, and he uses his knife, a bayonet attached to his gun to cut the wing of an airplane, and it looks cool. You know, it doesn't take itself like it's just a overall fun, and the emotion that everybody delivers and the facial expressions is what really drives this series forward. I one of my
And
favorite,
this in some more in-depth version of Strike, which is,
yeah,
but strike off the fan service and
yeah,
add plot.
yeah. My favorite funny moment is when she warns the factories and the place because they send an attack, but she does it in a cute voice, and the people are kind of like smirking, like, "Is this a joke?" And then they fire and they blow up all these factories. It's just, uh, it's a fun series, and the isekai part is like only a little. Again, it's so minuscule that if you really think that's gonna blow you out of the immersion of the show and disconnect you, then I don't know what to tell you. All I'm saying is I had fun watching this and the movie.
I can't watch this because they're in another world. Then why are you watching it then? Oh man. Shoot, speaking of isekai, cause they had, well, I think I talked about it before. There were like two new isekais that I was watching.
Yeah,
One of them you may have heard of before, may not. The Eighth Son.
Eighth Son. I can't say that I had.
Apparently, one day this dude just goes to work, comes back home, and then all of a sudden wakes up in another world. But the thing is, when he wakes up in another world, he's like a minor. He's part of a minor noble family and whatnot. So he's not poor, but he's not rich either. But he's always trying to figure out how to help the family out and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the weird thing was, like, at a young age, he was taught by a master zombie mage how to do magic.
No.
And so apparently the royals like inducted him in as a person to fight for the knights and whatnot. It's pretty good.
Huh.
It's like you got
Um.
that, and then you got reincarnated as a villainess to where this girl dies, say saving a person, and when she comes back to life, she comes back to life in her visual novel game as the villain of the game, and the problem of that is what pretty much at the end of that game that she likes, the villain always gets screwed over either by living life in a nightmare, being sold off as like a slave or something, or the character just dies.
Hmm.
And so pretty much she on throughout the whole entire show, she's trying to prevent that, to where instead of being a total I big bitch and whatnot, like she's nice. Well, actually, yeah, she loves the main character of the game. She tries to help solve the problems that the villain is introduced, and pretty much just doing everything she can to avoid the death flag.
Oh,
And so far, it's good.
what's it called again?
Yeah. So what?
What's the series called again?
Uh, Reincarnated as a villainess.
Oh, I think I saw that on Crunchyroll. I haven't actually. Like, I was thinking about watching Reincarnated as a Slime, just cause at
Oh,
a, just.
yeah, that's good too.
But
It actually went for 25 episodes.
yeah, usually that's a standard 25 episodes for an anime if it doesn't get renewed for a season.
Oh, it already got renewed.
No.
Like
I'm just
like I
saying.
said,
Yeah, I was just saying if it doesn't get renewed, usually 25 episodes is what it lasts. And to be fair, for light novels, I gotta say that's actually pretty impressive.
yep. But yeah, so my has been going on, but yeah, that's the only animes I've been watching. There are some animes that I could have watched, but it's like nah.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I watched. I'm trying to think if I was just watching anything. I tried watching a little bit more of Senten Academy, but it's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just that I was like, like,
One of those moments to where, all right, I know how this is gonna end. Nothing's gonna happen, and it's gonna be happy-go-lucky. The end.
no. So back to I guess the Pampara. I watched Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it's like, okay, what's the big deal? Well, I watched it on Netflix. Oh, really? It's not a. You gotta be like I'm not a super hardcore fan. Disclaimer: I'm not a super hardcore fan on Neon Genesis. That title belongs more to my brother in this family.
On
Um,
myself.
but me and him could agree that we're kind of on Team Asuka. I know somebody's gonna get mad at that, but
No, no, not really. To be honest, when it comes to Ray, major spoiler, but this has been out for centuries. It's as old as Lupin the Third, like where you been. But yeah, Ray is essentially a clone of the main protagonist's mother.
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And I mean, once you know that,
I mean, don't get me wrong. If
uh,
you're reading bull books and you like your bull books, fine. But when it comes down to like the actual plot, nah, I can't root for it.
yeah, and it's just like, um, I really, I don't know. I'm trying to just find like, oh, it's okay if you like her. It's okay if you like Ray. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I just
Oh,
don't.
I get it. I mean, I like Ray as a character,
It's
but for
okay to
her to
be
have a
wrong.
relationship, exactly,
It's okay to be wrong.
exactly.
Oh man.
I mean, you can have a conversation with her or work with her to do what you can, but
I mean, she does.
that's
She punches in. She reads her script. She goes home. She makes a hot plate. I mean, turned on the hot plate, heats up some instant noodles, and she goes to bed, and then that's it. Like,
and no, before the fans get on us, we're not trying to say Ray is a bad character. She has her moments and she has her developments. It's just
yeah,
like
even if
we're trying to hit the point home. That's your mom, bro.
yeah, or and it's like, but I'm talking about like personality wise. Like if it was a personality contest, Oscar wins hands down. Like there's no justification. You could say, oh well, Oscar's annoying. Well, yeah, but she has a personality.
Yeah, she
Like
got better as the series went on.
I mean, like I think, and the thing is like, again, they're just like, and in the series, they all have their own actual issues, that they have to go through. She's like that for a reason. She's trying so hard to be an adult, but no one treats her like that because they still treat her as a child, and she doesn't want to be treated that way.
And it ain't the thing of her being socially awkward or anything. It's just she knows who she is, but it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna play the role. Nothing else to do.
Also, I just like her design. I just think she's neat.
Yep.
and like it's again. So if anybody's never seen it, it's a fun mecha. Even if it is a deconstruction of it, it I don't understand why people think one deconstruction means you have to like hate the genre. Like, oh look, a person who works in anime says they hate anime. Guess we need to hate anime too if we ever want to be like them. Like taking Hayao Miyazaki's quote out of context.
Even though no matter how many times you explain to them, they don't want to hear it. Someone else told me that he said anime is trash, therefore it is, even though that's not what he said. But okay.
My favorite quote is, "You can put an image with words in front of it, and people will believe that character said it." Abraham Lincoln, 2017.
Yeah,
Abraham Lincoln, man, I can't believe Abraham Lincoln was, ahead of the curve.
yeah.
Abraham Lincoln said, "Oscar, best girl."
Oh man. Well, at the same time, I'm coming from. Ed hasn't seen the other works that are with the Evangelion
All I for
franchise.
me, as I've only seen the main series, and I just saw End of Evangelion because I was kind of, like I just saw it, and to be fair, that's my own fault. And I plan to watch all the other stuff. But it's not a priority because again, Evangelion was never my series. It was never my cup of, not my like it wasn't my. Now I was gonna say cup of tea, but that implies that I don't like it.
It's just one of those moments where, oh, I hear a bunch of this anime, and why not give it a try?
I was like, I was like, I grew up. It was Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Pokemans. Like I just watched whatever. And if on Saturday, if I had Adult Swim on and my parents were asleep, I just watched whatever I could, whether it be Detective Conan, Trigun. I just kind of watched things in bits and pieces as a young one. And Gundam was my go-to for my mecha. But even then, I was only so much into Gundam because I didn't realize it was such a big series when I was younger. You know?
I couldn't get into Gundam. Too much politics back then. Back then, I wasn't really into politics, so it's like I just want to see giant robots destroy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like people will act like, oh, this has to have like, yes, it has a deep political message or maybe something that applies to your morality and way of life. But sometimes, ha ha ha, purple robot go roar. It's like, no,
Right?
you're not supposed to like Shinji. He's like, haha,
I know
Shinji.
that's another thing I just don't get guilt. It's like I can see a little bit where people are coming from, but you don't like the character archetype. Okay,
It's no
but
different from people complaining like, don't go in there in a horror movie. It's like, yes, that's like logically, yeah, you wouldn't want to go in there, but then there wouldn't be a movie, and then you would wonder why you spent $9.
right?
Guys, you got to understand when you put money into something and you don't feel like you got your money's worth, that's kind of like, yeah. And the thing is, if you bought, like, let's say if you watch Neon Genesis, however it aired, you pirated it, torrented, watched it, bought it official release, especially if you bought it official release, if you bought it because of friend's recommendation and you end up didn't liking it, it's like you can't, it's okay to say, hey, I didn't like this show. I watched it because you wanted me to. I mean, there's a lot
Yeah,
of shows that my friends love, and I just don't see the appeal. And that's nothing against them. It's more along the lines of I've seen a lot, and it's not that it's hard to. I'm easily impressed. Trust me. I'm easily impressed. But the thing is that I have very specific like things that just like made me go, yes, I want that.
I mean, it is for me. It's like the 3 episode rule. If you don't got me going by 3 episodes, I'm not really interested. But at the same time, even if you keep me for the 3 episodes, if you start to slow down too much, I was like, because that's what happened with this. new anime. I don't even know the name of it. I just know something about light versus darkness, and it was going at the beginning. It's like, okay, you got my attention, but then it just slowed down. And I was like, yeah, okay, oh crap, someone died. Oh, something happened, and then it just went back to doing another. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, not everything needs for me. Not everything needs to be a deconstruction or criticism on the industry because then it's just like, all right, yeah, I get it. Like,
We get it. You don't like it, but you want to make a show that makes fun of what you don't like, which is fine. It's just only a small handful actually did it
and then
right.
like, I've always like me, like, it's and characters. It's for me. It's really hard to hate characters. You had like a character has to be downright like no matter what happens in the series, it's not that they make the wrong decisions. It's just that they just don't like. I don't hate Ray. I just don't like her, but not because of anything like waifu wars or anything. It's just because when you watch the series, they don't really expand upon it. The only really interesting thing is the fact that she's a clone, but they
Yeah,
like the show doesn't dive
but
into it.
in actuality, they would want it that way because only only the insane like Ray on that level, and that's the point. Because like in every mega show, you got to have that one. Oh, obviously the main character's gonna go after that person. And it's like, but in reality, it's like, no. Why would
Hey,
you?
and you gotta kind of have to give props to Shinji because he does. Again, I know somebody can bring up End of Evangelion, but let's just pretend if End of Evangelion didn't happen and just from the series, really like Shinji is like the champ of abstinence. Like holy crap! Like
uh,
I know like I'm joking, but like I know there's like everybody's gonna say something, but like the joke is like you got Misato, Asuka. You guess you can throw in Ray, but not really. But like
well, since you haven't seen the others, I'm not gonna spoil it
no, of course.
for you.
Again, I've only seen the original series and the movie. But what I'm but it's just like,
And that's right. I've seen just about everything, like
but
the mangas,
I
the
don't know. I just like
movies, the cheesy PSP games. I'm a
no.
fan, so
I don't know. I like the dynamic that the show had. I figured it was gonna get darker. Like I'm like look, I read Devilman. I read the like I've seen like how 0 to 100 the show can get. But for me, like a sensory overload can to me only works if you prepared your audience for it.
which
And
that wasn't the case for me when I watched it when I was too young to watch it.
no, yeah, I'm just like I'm more along the lines of like if you watch, I don't know, it feels weird because I watched it back to back. I watched so I watched it on the Netflix version and then the movie like right after like a few days afterwards. So with that fresh in my mind, it just feels like I guess it feels like the puzzle fits, but it just didn't rub me the right way. And I don't hate the movie. It's a very like oh okay movie, like it does a lot. It's a very ambitious movie. I can appreciate it for that. I'm just like, uh, like I've seen a lot, and I don't think, and I think if I would have watched it when it first came out, I think it would have blown my mind.
Yeah.
Because really, all because when you watch it now, it's just depressing.
Oh
Like
yeah, it is.
it's just like,
But when it first came out, and we're all used to the happy-go-lucky Pokemans or today the hero's gonna win. Nope, everything goes to
yeah,
shit.
we all had that moment when an anime or a video game just kind of like, oh,
It's
and
like you thought we will go on the right way, but nope,
you
everything
you
is
you
falling
wanna
apart at the seams.
you wanna know what was my first like? Oh, I don't feel too good. Kind of like I really need I need to take I need to take a break. Yeah,
Yeah.
ironically, it was a I watched it out of context, but School Days ending,
Ah, you watched the meme.
like, like, oh, he gets stabbed. A spoiler for something that's just as old as like, not as old as Evangelion, but pretty old now.
It's getting there.
It's a visual novel that it's where like I guess if you it probably broke a lot of people into the yandere genre.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're a hey, play a drinking game. If
As
people
I
like
shout out to
yandere, if
Mira
people like
Nikki.
yeah, not Mirai Nikki.
Yep.
If they said their first yandere is Mirai Nikki, it's like okay. I couldn't really get into that one. It's funny because I remember when it was a manga called Future Diary in the West.
Oh, I was able to get into it because it was dumb. But dumb to the point to where I can cut off my brain and have fun with it. It's like, oh,
It
who's gonna
seems
die
it
this
seems
episode?
like that kind of series. I'm just not. It's funny because I see the appeal in yandere. Like I can see it. Like, but I'm kind of like,
It's like you want to go in there, but you're gonna get the knife if you fuck up. Which, good luck to you.
it's
For
I
my real brethren as well.
I like characters. I mean, I kind of like what I for me. It's more like, oh, I like kind of characters that are so in love with the main character that they're just psychotic. But it's just like, I guess. Oh, it's funny. Actually, ironically, my first introduction of yandere was technically Bakano, because Lad Russo is technically a yandere in the in a sense.
Huh.
Except he likes a character and he's going to kill that character, but he's going to save her for last because he hasn't finished killing everybody. That's his ideology. Like he's a he's a psychopathic murderer.
Well, I've never seen Bakano, so I'm gonna roll with your word on that one.
I like
Yes, it's
Bakano
like
is one
I've
of my
seen
favorites.
Aurora, but something about Bakano just cuts me off. I don't know what.
Well, I mean, it's one of those series that kind of just ends. A lot of people would say Durarara because it's made by the same people who did Durarara, and that had a lot of larger impact. I know a lot of people who talk about Durarara more than they talk about Bakano.
I think we talked about it before, but it's when it comes to certain anime, I'm the type of person to where if you say, "Come on, man, you gotta watch this made by the same guy who made this," it's like, yeah, it is, but that don't mean it's good. I think we talked about that before, right?
Yeah, we probably have. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But overall, Neon Genesis still holds up. End of Evangelion, you know, it's good. It's just not like something I can watch over and over again. It's just like,
That depression be real.
yeah, it's
And then I know you heard that song at the end. I was just like, wow.
tumbling down, tumbling down. But yeah, it's pretty sure if I watched it when I was if I ever watched, I probably would have been a whole different person if I watched Neon Genesis when it first came out.
Oh yeah.
Um, but no, it's just
But I had to appreciate it only because the fact that it broke me into watching different genres to where not everything has to have a happy ending. And that works sometimes with anime, although some people when they do it, they can easily mess up. Like a example is like the anime Erased,
erased.
where this dude goes back in time to right a wrong, and then towards the end, it's like, bruh, it's like they got happy, but you pretty much destroyed your life in the process. It's like, nah, I wouldn't be able to recommend that to like new anime watchers and whatnot because it's like, that was just fucked up.
Yeah, I haven't really watched. I yeah, I've only seen like again, Devilman's like the only prime example of bad end. I know
Yep,
there are shows out there that have bad endings where nobody really wins. I just haven't seen them myself.
yep.
But I'm in terms of anime, I've seen a lot of movies that end pretty like I'm okay with bad like technically bad endings, but more along the lines of bittersweet, meaning like the only times I've ever seen real bad ends is like horror movies that are just stingers for the sequel. But but I think the guy who directed Blue Ruin and The Green Room, those two movies are very depressing in the sense of like what's going on, but it still kind of doesn't feel completely terrible, but it still makes you feel bad, you
Yeah.
know. Um, I don't know. I'm just not like like I can deal with depressing and sad moments in a series, but sad endings, depressing moments.
You can
Mm,
only take it that much before
yeah, I
it's
can't
like,
go back to back with them. Like it, like, but if you can do it in a bittersweet way where it doesn't feel like it's a bad ending, like it doesn't make you feel bad for indulging in it, then fine. Like Hotline Miami 2, that one kind of ends where it's like, oh man, but it's not crazy.
yep,
Like if a series randomly kills just the protagonist and starts killing everybody and nobody lives, I'm like, it's shock value can only go so far for me.
yeah. At that point, it just gets dumb.
Yeah, because like,
But
oh wow, look at this, like, but oof,
but speaking of bittersweet, that brings us to our next topic.
yeah,
Uh, well, it's that time of the year again for the FGC. uh, Evo. But what can I even say? I mean, cause yeah, we know that they had to cancel like face Evo for the pandemic and whatnot. But what was replaced with it? And for those who out of the loop, apparently the new Evo tournament is 100% online, which is fun. As you can hear my sarcastic voice. No, it's not. So obviously there's going to be some problems, but my biggest problem with it was the fact that they took out Smash and replaced it with two games that I is like a no. I do not care what people say. You could never convince me that Skullgirls is a good game. It's like, oh, but the artwork. I saw better artwork from King of Fighters 13 and Blaze Blue games.
as as
I'm not impressed.
as someone who has bought Skullgirls twice, one when it originally came out on PS3, and on the PC, I wouldn't even I wouldn't try to die on
And
that
then
hill.
for the same people, it's like, oh, you just don't understand the gameplay. The gameplay is CVS mixed with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Wow, it's so complicated that someone decided to take two aspects of Mugen and then sell it to people for a profit. So edgy and revolutionary, right?
Yeah, I think it's more along the lines where it's like it's easy to jump into, difficult to master, and it's like Yeah.
No, that part don't get me. That's totally fine. That's any fighting game. It's just when it comes to the fan base, I've yet to have a positive interaction with a fan to where they're always like, "Oh, you should stop playing your game and play my game." It's like, well, if I didn't care about Skullgirls to begin with, what makes you think I would care about now since you're telling me to stop playing what I want to play?
Because it's.
Which those who know me with the fighting game community, I play a bunch of stuff. And so, me playing a bunch of stuff, there's going to be some titles that even I don't like. And, but that's just how it is. But the thing about from where I coming from is, if it's a game I don't like, I'm not going to sit here and try to say, oh, you shouldn't play it because I don't like it. I'm just going to let you play it anyway. Sure, I'll even play casual Mad Masters, which you get destroyed. But at the end of the day, like I said, I hate Skullgirls. And pretty much the other game, which is, I'm just going to call it My Little Pony, the fighting game. It's not My Little Pony, but it might as well be.
I mean, it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I remember when it was all that stuff.
I mean, congratulations for the hardware work to get a second game out though, because I know like hand drawn, that takes some work. I mean,
No,
because it
yeah,
ain't
of
like
course.
now to where most people be doing like 3D models and shit. It's like, nope, this is one of the rare games that's actually been hand drawn. So I give them at least respect for that, at least.
Yeah. No, of course I don't. That's the thing. It's like you can't. It's like we're not dogging on it because like we figured it's like hand drawn. That's never been the issue. I just think it's just leaves something to be desired, especially if you've been in the FGC for like ever. Because fighting games have been around way longer than Skullgirls. Because like Skullgirls is what, only like 6 years old?
Yeah, but the fan base, which is the main problem I have, just the fan base. Because whenever they be trying to be, whenever they try to have a conversation, it's never, hey, you want to play my game? Oh, I'll help you get better. It's like, no. It's like, oh, why are you playing them trashy games? You should play a real fighting game. It's like, oh, okay. The game that stole mechanics from other fighting games is a real fighting game, okay?
But look how many people attended the Skullgirls event at this tournament. It's selling out places. Like that's not an argument. You
Right.
can't you can't like what compared to Street Fighter? Street Fighter has its problems. Yeah, of course. That's like but that's kind of like going up against a dead horse, isn't it?
Yep. And I know for the people who try to say, "Oh, you just mad because Smash is in Evo this year." I'm mad because you want to say Smash has horrible net play. I get you, but you want to let Dragon Ball Fighters on there that also has trash net play. This is like no. It's like if you hate Smash, just be honest and say you don't like Smash. Then at least I'll be like, okay, they don't like Smash, whatever. But it's just the whole thing. Oh no, we just couldn't do it because the net play. Nah, just stop.
Yeah, it's uh,
I honesty will help you a lot. Because I guarantee you, if they were just honest about it, it's like, yeah, people would be a bit annoyed, but it wouldn't be as bad as it is now to where oh we care we just can't do it. It's like oh okay,
and
and I'm
like
sure Maximilian's having a field day with online Evo. Net play, net play, net play, net play. And just to be real on that, you can have a rollback net play and everything, but that don't mean that's gonna save you from playing a random dude in Afghanistan from where we are,
yeah, it's
or playing. Well, in essence, what I'm trying to say is, if someone was like, I don't know, 3,000 miles away from you, yeah, net play, rollback net play, but the connection, bruh. A bad connection is a bad connection, no matter how what angle you come at.
yeah.
like the only way we can fix this problem is if we have like a proper network infrastructure in America, but they don't want that to happen because hey, money.
Yep.
And that's just the reality of it.
There's so many like
But yeah, that's going on. Like Mortal Kombat Aftermath and a couple other games here and there. And yes, a lot of people can enter Evo this year because it's online, but I think Mighty Keith made the perfect parody movie to where, all right, Smash is gonna be amazing. It's like, wait a minute, wow, it's like, where's your LAN adapter? And he just throws away the LAN adapter. What LAN adapter? And that pretty much summarizes how Evo is gonna be. Wetland adapter. Oh no, my connection is good. They just live too far away from me. And then you're gonna have some people trying to flex as though I beat this high name in Evo online. Yeah, online is different from offline. You have more probabilities of winning an online match than you are to win a offline match. Because an offline match, you can't blame it on lag. You can't say that it's your controller problem or you had to go do something. You just have to take the L.
yeah. It's a
And I
big
see different experiences because it's like come on. And then you had the people who be talking trash. Oh, you can't beat me online. It's like I'm right here in front of your face. Why can't I just you know play you right here? But yeah,
yeah.
good times for everyone this year.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing a hype moment be destroyed by either a rage quit or a disconnection.
Yeah, but we kind of I can already figure like if the guy rage quits, then obviously the guy who didn't can disconnect is gonna pretty much win by default.
Yep.
But whatever's. Just here to. I'll probably. I'd rather be playing like I usually rather play a fighting game, but I haven't even just. I don't know. Like there's something in it that I just like. I haven't really. Sorry. I'm crumpling paper. I don't mean to do that. I just lost interest because I want to get back into fighting games, but just with everything going, I just don't have the time to sit down and get. With so many games kind of just like losing players and just people getting losing interest in it, it's just like, all right, I finally learned how to
Yeah,
get the
that
hang of this game.
whole fighting herds and skullgirls were played like taking up spots for Evo. That just killed the momentum for me on that one. I was like, we could have had a bunch of other games, but those two games, okay. But it has robot neck play. Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
So I'm waiting until robot net play just becomes a meme. Because with how people try to make a case for it, it's like yes, we need better. Like we need better network infrastructure, but we all need better internet to begin with, even for the people in the sticks. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. To where you want to do something on the internet, but you can't do it on the internet because your internet is not good. And then you only got a certain amount of providers there in your area, so what you can do. So,
Yeah.
but
It's.
yeah, that's my evil tangent slash rant.
I just
Shoot, I'm
don't.
hoping that this pandemic like gets better by next year. Hoping, because I guarantee you, I can't keep doing online Evo because we already know what's gonna happen as this goes by. Eventually, people, frustration. But speaking of
Yeah.
frustration, this brand brings us to our well. Before I segue, like, did you have anything else to add to it?
Nah, not really. I let you talk mostly on this because, like I said, y'all know, like I played fighting games, but I'm not huge into the. I'm not a big portion like contributor to the FGC. I like seeing things. I like to hear things. I listen to when Mug has these things to talk about because it's part of who he is, and I have those moments where I just will talk about whatever topic I bring up to the table. I don't really have much to say on it, so like I do agree with him on most parts. Like, it's like I was like, oh, cool, them's fighting herds, like as like oh me, I'm just like from independent side of things, I'm like oh I'm glad it finally came out, because I remember
Yep.
when. But as far as like being an Evo, I'm like I don't really care. And Skullgirls, it's just it really is true. Something about that community, it just kind of makes you. It's like I would love to just play this casually, but everyone acts like they really gotta make Skullgirls feel like it's the magnum opus of fighting games. Like fighting games, there's no need to make a new one. We have Skullgirls, and it's like, shut up, go home.
Yep.
I don't want to. Like I don't want to play this. And unlike I know
Look
it's
at
an
the
indie
fluid
project.
quality of these animations. I do say, oh, like,
All I gotta say
stop.
is remember the Indivisible game that came out?
I keep forgetting about that
I do
because I want
too.
to grab it, but then I just keep forgetting about it.
Everyone forgets about it. Should have just used the Indiegogo money to just make new characters. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, and it's just but I'm kidding. I don't mean to throw that kind of shade. I know someone's going to get mad at that. But I mean, it's just hey,
Yeah.
Mike's a big boy. It's just
It's called criticism.
it's an all right game, but everyone always acts like it's something deeper. Like
Or let me clarify before anyone tries to go on a tangent. No, I don't have anything against the guy who made the game. I had to just double clarify. It is the fan base that holds it on a pedestal when it doesn't deserve that. Now, like I said before, I give him respect for like doing a hand drawn fighting game because we rarely see that today. It's just the people who are trying to say, "Oh my God, this is gaming art." I was like, "No, stop."
it's a very just run of the mill fighting game. It's really impressive, but like it from a perspective like a realist standpoint.
Music's good too. I
Oh
can
yeah,
jam
because
to
that
that.
they got that and actually like a composer who's done like mostly like Silent Hill and all that. That's
Yep.
the art and music has never been the problem with these games. I've never criticized the art. I just don't think like the gameplay is all right, but it's not enough to keep me into the game. And I like
Especially for like a long period of time or for like years.
yeah,
It's like
as
I can keep coming back to King of Fighters, whichever game it
Third
is, Street
Strike.
Fighter, Marvel, like you name it.
Like you
I
like
just don't get that
that
from
that says something
Skullgirls.
when you're willing to bring a Dreamcast to a convention just to play yeah,
Right.
like Third Strike or Marvel vs. Capcom. I know you could probably play it on a other console, but you get the point. Like
Yep.
like I'd rather play Marvel 3, Ultimate Marvel 3 than play Skullgirls. I'd rather play Capcom versus SNK 2. And if somebody says that's not fair comparison, it's like, what do you mean? It's a fighting game. We're not comparing it from, what impact. It's just like I'd rather play these fighting games because they're just like fun to play. And then when you play, like, if you play Skullgirls with somebody who doesn't really care for Skullgirls, you'll have a blast. But if you play with
Yeah.
Skullgirls against somebody who is obsessed with the game, it's the worst. It's just, it's just
Yep.
not fun. And then they take the fun away when you start winning too. Oof. It's no different from
Yep.
like Smash players. It's like, oh yeah, it's just like, hey guys, chill out. It's just a game. But then they get real quiet when you start whooping them.
You right.
It's like, oh, you pick Sarabella. It's like, I don't care. It's like, oh, so now like there's only like a small roster. You get mad that I picked a character. I'm not using all three fighters.
Again, the Mighty Keith references. Oh, oh, he's playing the game. Give me a second to get up. But then after he got through raging at you, his friend calls him, "Let me warn you, I'm the most deadly." Boy, that's just crazy.
Oh man, it's funny when people are like really in any fighting game. I still think about that one. I don't remember who. All I remember it was a Ryu versus a Rufus, and the guy who was playing as Rufus in Street Fighter 4. The Rufus guy was falling for the easiest. Like he missed jumping over the Hadokens. As soon as he jumps over Hadoken, he gets caught into a Shoryuken, and it's just like he's falling for like basic, you know.
And people are getting mad, and that's not the dude's fault. That's his
It's
fault
funny, but it
for
was
falling
funny.
for the basic
You
stuff.
know what fight I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
was
can't
funny.
remember his name
Yeah,
because
all
it's
I,
like
it's just like, oh man, I'll tell you, you know what game I really do want to play. I don't care what anybody says. Street
what
Fighter 4 Ultimate, Ultra Street Fighter
I
4.
Ultra Street Fighter 4. Yeah,
I don't know why I'm feeling nostalgic for it. I think I. It's funny because I was like, oh, Street Fighter 4, but I kind of miss it. I kind of miss that announcer. I kind of miss that.
eh,
I
I
don't know.
don't. But me personally, I for the people who know me, they already know. I don't see Street Fighter 4 Street Fighter 4. I just see Street Fighter 4 Street Fighter 2, and I'm tired of Street Fighter 2. Move on. It's like we
Yeah,
get it. You played in the arcades like the rest of us, but can we move on from 2? You can bring back the old characters, but just give me
Alpha,
Alpha or Third Strike.
Third Strike 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the next topic we were going to dive into, I kind of have a little bit more to say on it, but again, this is another more topic on mugs, and that has to do
Yep.
with the U.S. launch of Microsoft's Sega's Fantasy Star beta.
Oh God,
And for
this
those of you who
this
are,
has given me a headache for 2 whole months.
yeah, and hold,
Oh, it was
so
so
for those of you
painful.
out of the loop, recently there was the beta was launched for the. I don't remember. I don't know if it was for the console, but I do know
It
the
was for
PC,
Xbox by
Xbox,
Xbox One.
and the PC. But most people that did it on PC
Oh, there was
had
no beta for PC. It
no, it
was
wasn't.
just nope, no PC beta at all. It was just strictly Xbox One for a long time, and
Mm,
we're just now getting the PC version now
okay,
for America.
yeah. Well, anyway, it was a terrible launch, and everybody's experience with it was bad, which is weird considering you can play the Japanese version on your PS4 without any hitches.
Yep.
You know,
You could even play it on the Vita right now without no hitches.
yep. And I don't think this is. I don't want to like. I'm just gonna give the benefit of the doubt. I could be wrong. Maybe it will be Sega's fault, but
Oh,
I
I haven't
really.
went into detail before you go in because apparently, okay, so obviously you had the problem of not having like a beta for the PC. It's just being the console exclusive for Xbox, but I'm gonna give a my perspective as a veteran PSO player.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen, you've got about like when we were starting to get into the America version, the Japanese players like myself, we knew what to do, but we wanted to help the new people getting in.
Sorry about that.
So whenever they had a question, we'd be all like, "Oh, you want to get that? Oh yeah, you do that to get this. Oh, that weapon. Yeah, we know it looks amazing, but that weapon isn't as good as you think it is. It's not gonna really matter in the end." And they're just like, "This game's too complicated." No, it's not. You're just making it complicated. Now, if you were to say the weapon creation system, yeah, that's bonkers. I'm not gonna lie to you on that one. I even though I'm like level 95 on the Japanese version, I still can't make that perfect weapon that I've always wanted. But for everything else, the problem is the game is behind, and I mean really behind. Because right now, the Japanese version has like 6 episodes, and we're barely just about to get episode 4 next week, I think.
Hmm.
But the thing is, like people, some of the people when they saw that, they didn't want to hop into the America version, and they were talking about it on Reddit and other social media, just saying that, oh, how do I put it? So I haven't played Final Fantasy 14, but they have the amazing classes that a bunch of people use, right? That one class that you see all the time.
Yeah.
And what would that be for 14?
Oh crap! Oh, this is where I haven't played in a while. So, but from what I know, mostly like the thing that you want to be is either DPS or tank, because everybody's.
Yeah.
I mean, healer or tank. Those are the ones that you would be respected. But most people that are starting off in the beginning are going to pick DPS until you realize you actually have to do Qs. And
Yep.
in terms of DPS, the most I've seen are a lot of experimenting ones. Like they're leveling up that new class that they decided to jump into. But as far as the healers, the ones I see the most are astrologists and just the mage. Just the white mage. Like the white mage is the most popular healer that I've seen. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying from what I've seen. The
Yeah.
Marauder is the most popular tank that I've seen. Again, there's other like once you level up, like once you're like a monk, you're a pugilist, which is pretty much just a lower class monk. I haven't seen a lot of monks as DPS. I usually see like range DPS kind of people like archers and bards. Uh,
So yeah. So in Fantasy Star, they have the regular classes, which they're all right. They can do damage, but you really have to have an amazing weapon to do damage with them. But there's an asterisk on the amazing damage because they have the newer classes called successor classes to where they combine 3 jobs into one. Like say for instance, most of the successor classes are essentially a gameplay style of how you want to play. Like, say, for instance, Hero, or what people nicknamed it, the Devil May Cry class, is more oriented towards hitting hard and comboing. And while the Phantom class is more geared towards the mage, like pretty much the people who love using magic or yeah, yeah, pretty much those who love using Force and Tekker. That's like the mastery of that. And as for the tank class, you have the Star class, which I use now, to where it's a mobile tank, and it's bonkers because if you continue, if as long as you don't stop moving, you can pretty much tank everything without dying,
yeah,
unless you're just being stupid and just getting slapped by everything.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just good for I don't want to be careful. I just want to go in.
Also, you can level up really fast if you're like level one, like I was, and just travel with somebody who's been playing this game for like almost years now, and just level up like crazy.
But on that note, this is where it gets stupid as a veteran from my perspective. Apparently, in the Japanese version, they gave you something called bonus keys, which lets you level up real fast, just in case, like, you want to get caught up with what's going on in the story. You
Yeah,
want to
they
get
have level
stronger.
boosters in 14. Also, real quick, I was wrong. Apparently, according to FF logs, this was like 2 years ago that I'm looking up. Paladin, Scholar, Bard, and Dragoon were the four most popular, while Dark Knight, White Mage, Mechanist, and Monk were the least popular.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what those are. If you don't know what those are, then don't worry about it. If you're not playing Final Fantasy 14, it doesn't matter. But yes, they do
Yep.
have their popular and least popular.
We'll be right back after these commercials. Nah.
Hey, also, by the way, if
Nah.
you ever play Final Fantasy 14, I love playing as a samurai. I play on PS4. But just remember, subscription based. So
And
unlike
that's
Final
my only
Fantasy 4,
deal breaker when it comes to
Final
14. I
Fantasy Star
love the
14,
franchise, but that subscription is a deal breaker.
it's 14.99 a month, people. So if anybody's like, "Whoa, why is it like 14, $15, $15? I can buy a meal for two for $15."
But Ed already knows if they had a yearly subscription, fine, I can get it and forget about it.
Yeah, if it's not something that's charging your card every month,
Yeah,
he would have jumped on it already. Because that way he can control it himself. Like if they had prepaid cards too, yeah, that would work.
yeah,
But even for me, like if I'm like, all right, I'm only gonna play for a little bit, I usually cancel my subscription and play for the days I have left. Because if you already paid for it, it gives you those days until it renews it. So if you take off your card, you can still play for 30 days.
yep,
That's what I did one time. I bought the new expansion and it gave me a month free. And I was like, all right, I only have a month to beat this game. So I was like, boom, boom, boom. And I managed to beat the first, I beat the main game and the first expansion, which was Heaven's Ward. The
yep,
game is fun, but you have to be, like, you have to have almost nothing else to do. And at the time, there
yeah.
was no
That's
games that
not the
were out.
case.
But now that
Yep.
Animal Crossing is out, I mean, Three Houses, Persona 4, I mean, Persona 5 Royale, all these games are out. And it's just like, I had to play all these games. I don't think I'm going to be able to sit down and play, Final Fantasy 14. And I know there's level up boosters, and I would put money in to just get ahead of the curve and just get to the main stuff. But I just don't, I'm just like, I have family members who have subscriptions and they're playing. But I'm like already into Stormblood, and I'm not. That's the one before the most current one, which is Shadowbringers, and I do want to get into it because they have near automata content that I want to indulge in. But
Yep.
it's a lot. Like you have 300 hours. You have 300 hours to get through if you want to even get any towards the near automata stuff, which a lot of people ended up buying Shadowbringers because like, oh, it's just $40. It's like, yes,
Yep.
but you have to
Get
progress.
there.
You have to beat the main game first of all. You have to and to be fair, when the new expansions come out, it's kind of easy if like let's say if you bought Shadowbringers, it is actually easy to beat the new game because that's a lot of people who are getting queued into dungeons that would usually take forever. And that's the biggest thing is queuing into a dungeon. It's like if you're DPS, good luck waiting for a tank and a healer. But if you're a tank or a healer, it's almost instant. But if you
But getting back to Fashion Star, apparently in the English version, US version, there is no bonus keys. As the time of I'm speaking today, well, what's today's date?
6/7, 2020.
Yeah, there are no bonus keys. So if you want to level up, you're going to have to level up the old-fashioned way.
Yes, by getting one of your friends who's been playing it for years to get you up to level like 80.
No, I'm talking about if you coming in
If you're by
alone.
yourself, yeah, if you're going by yourself, good luck.
The only reason why I'm able to level up fast is because I already know what to do without
Now,
the bonus keys, but
the
it's still a headache though to do that.
so for anybody who hasn't played Fantasy Star, like what's the appeal? Why even play it then? Well, for one thing, it's free. Two, the customization on characters is very expansive from the beginning, and all it really is just getting cosmetics. That's the part where it gets
And
a little
that's
tricky.
another note. Like the cosmetics we have for the Japanese version, yeah, that ain't in the American version. We
Which is
got some
so
weird stuff
stupid.
going on. We
I'd
got
pay
the Miku
money for half of those
costume, but
costumes.
yeah.
And that's the funny thing. It's like
Like no Blaze Blue, no Guilty
no Persona
Gear.
5. Oof.
No Persona
That's the whole
3.
reason. Honestly, I'll tell y'all right now. That's the whole reason why I even got me into it was because I was like, oh, there's Persona items. That's the only reason why I wanted to. I just wanted Makoto's outfit, couldn't get it, and I was like, all right. But this was before I had a terabyte on my computer. I was like, I don't have. I have this new computer. It doesn't have any space. I need to upgrade. I can't have this game on my computer because I have too much. I got other stuff I got to do. I got projects.
Yeah.
But it's not complete. Like it has classes, and just you just kind of have to. I don't know. You can
But
change your
getting
classes,
bad,
right?
that's again another one. The classes. And the American version, we have no successor classes. Do keep in mind that most of the vets play with successor class, whether it's hero, phantom, or star. Now you got the diehard people who are using the older classes to prove a point, but that's like a
That's just
small,
personal. That's just like a personal preference.
yeah. Cause if we pretty much I had to revert back to my old ways, which was a headache for me because before the successor class came out, I was like gunner and ranger, which they use rocket launcher, assault rifles, and machine guns.
Yeah, I think I picked the
S-
gun one, and when I started, all I know is I had a gun.
Yep. So you're either ranger or gunner, but when the successor classes came out, eventually I just triangulated between hero, star, and phantom. Well, not so much hero. The only time I do the hero class is whenever we know we gonna fight that boss. I like, nope. Switch my weapons over to hero. We going in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ooh.
So no successor classes, no costumes, no bonus keys. Ugh. And then to top it off, if you're installing this on PC, it was a nightmare because get this, Ed. So you remember when you installed it on your PC for the first time, there was no problem at all, right? You
Yeah,
just
no,
got the tweaker,
the learning
got the
curve is the
game.
learning his typing in Japanese. That's it.
That was the only problem you had to go through.
Yep.
But everything else was smooth. You got your game, you got your character, you're going out off to the races. So, uh, the American version has a major blood bug to this date they haven't really fixed yet to where if you were to install it for some strange reason, I do well, I know it now, but for it would after like a couple days or if you were to like say for instance how many times you had a problem to where you needed to go inside your files and fix it by like deleting a file or
Rarely.
using the antivirus to clean up stuff.
Rarely.
Sometimes you had that problem, but I had that problem because I got Grand Theft Auto 5 for free because of the Epic Store. And so as soon as I got like the America version, my Grand Theft Auto 5 stopped working because my Epic store stopped working. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay, let me go inside the folders to see what's wrong. So as soon as I went to go see what was inside the pro folder, the game erased itself.
Mm.
Well, or should I say it corrupted itself. I like, because it's like, oh, the game is corrupted. I like, when did this happen? I go to the folder,
Just now.
there's nothing corrupted. The folders all work fine. It's just the Microsoft store doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then come to find out the main reason, and do keep in mind, Fantasy Star is about 70 gigabytes. So that gets irritating after a while to where you come back home from work, oh, your game's been corrupted. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like it ain't a virus, it ain't malware, it's the Microsoft Store. Because the Microsoft Store didn't like you modifying a certain file in your $2,000 machine paid money for, you can't play your game. And then that's not even the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake is if you were to try to uninstall the game, you only uninstall 10 gigs of the game.
Yeah.
You keep the other 50 gigs that come with it. And then when you try to delete the 50 gigs, you don't have the permission to delete the 50 gigs,
Mm.
which is mind-boggling. It's like, what? I can't delete it. My virus protection can't delete it. Why can I not delete it? Oh, you can't delete it because you don't have the permission to delete it. And it is again, I
Yeah.
paid $2,000 for my laptop, only for my laptop to tell me I don't have control over what's in it. I mean, it's like one day you need to go to work and your car door don't open. It's like, excuse me? Yeah, it's like you put this thing in your glove compartment, so I can't open the door. Is how livid would you be if that were to happen? No, you think I'm joking, Ed? I'm being serious.
No,
It's like
no,
it,
yeah, no, but I'm saying like, yeah, I'd be pretty like, that's oof.
and then if you were to download it again, it would still be on there. And then if it were to do it again, guess what happens? You're building up space. I've already seen cases to where people's desktops and laptops are breaking because they can't delete the excess files from the stores that Microsoft Store won't let you do, which again is stupid. I mean, due to the fact that I have a background in IT, information technology, I knew what to do to fix it, but the fact that I had to set my machine into debug mode to fix a simple problem is just dumb. Why would you set up a game to where only Microsoft can manage the files? You can't manage the files.
Mm.
I get it in some instances, like if you were to do that with the anti-cheating measures, like you of course you don't want people to mess with that and hack it and cheat in the game. That makes sense. But you're stopping me at the door from erasing corrupted files
Yeah.
that's filling up my hard drive, mind you.
Eesh.
And I know people say, "Oh, just get a bigger hard drive." I I have a 2 terabyte hard drive,
Yeah, that's it's never
and
been the
like I
problem of
said,
lack of space.
like the space isn't the issue. The issue is the fact that I had to go through jump hoops just to get this to work. I finally got the English version to work, but I had to put my machine into developer mode. And as I put my machine into developer mode, then I pretty much had to hack my machine to get it working.
Mm.
That's nonsense. I shouldn't have to go through such extremes just to get a game to work.
Yeah.
So you got all those issues plaguing it, and then you got people. See the I'm gonna go on a little rant right here because apparently when I was trying to fix this problem, I would come across an issue of Xbox fanboys like getting on my case, just saying, "Oh, well, you don't have a problem with like you should go come back to playing it on Xbox One. There's no problems on the Xbox One. Why don't you come back to that?" And I was like, "I got the PC version because I don't want to play it." It's like, "Well, you got." It's like, "Well, you're having problems on the PC. Clearly, you're doing something wrong. So why not just come back to the Xbox?" And I was like, "No, you don't understand. I
Yeah.
refuse to pay a yearly subscription to play a free to play game that's asinine." Now, it's like yeah, peop I understand. It's like you need to pay for certain things, you need to pay for subscriptions. But for 8 years this game's been free and now I gotta pay Xbox a fee just to play that? No,
Yeah,
no. Shoot, that's a fool's errand.
yeah,
And then whenever I go into detail on why I don't want to do, it's like, well, you're just a PC elitist, huh, 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 huh. And I had to roast the person. It's like, okay, let's have this talk. It's like you want to talk about elite leading that. Let's do it. I have a gaming rig. If I were to be honest, my gaming rig can smoke the Xbox One. Proof? Explain to me why I put my modded Skyrim on the Xbox One X, and the Xbox One X crashed in a total of 3 minutes and 47 seconds. And that's not even me putting 4K mods on there. That's putting 2K mods. Just basic mods that are quality of life improvements.
yeah,
But apparently, oh no, the Xbox One is better. And so yeah, I got a gaming rig. I got the Xbox One. I have a PlayStation 4. I have a Switch. So this whole thing of, oh, you're just a console elitist, like, no, not console, but PC elitist is like, no, I have everything. It's like I don't care about your platform of choice. If you want to be brand loyalty to your company that doesn't care about you, cool. I just want to play the games. If there's a game I want to play, I'm gonna play it. I don't care what platform it is or who it comes from. Like I played Xbox because I wanted to play Halo 1 to 3. It's like I play on PlayStation because I want to play my RPGs. I play on Nintendo because I want to play Smash, Mario, Metroid, and so on. I don't. It frustrates me to this day to where people are still trying to fight the console wars. It's like, oh, look at me. It's like my plastic is better than your plastic. It's like oh, okay, let me go get my Lego set and we'll really go in.
yeah. It's
Like you get where I'm coming from?
no, yeah, of course. It's like me. I play. The only reason, like, I have a Switch and I have a PS4 and a PC. I don't have an Xbox because I just don't have any reason to play it. Especially since a lot of the games now are on the Xbox or Microsoft or even Steam. The only
Yep,
game I was ever interested is now on PC, and that was Sunset Overdrive.
yep.
And I got it, and I played a little bit, but it's all right. But it's not like, oh, I should have gotten an Xbox. I missed out on it. Halo. Again, if I play an Xbox, I probably would. My friend from high
The
school
only
has
other
one,
game I played on Xbox was Serious Sam 2, which I had a bunch of fun with.
which yeah, again, that's also on PC.
But yeah, it's still the fact that just because I don't get what they get from trying to be loyal to a platform, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's
I mean, because while everyone else is going through each other's throats about which plastic is better than one another, know what your overlords are doing? They're having lunch with each other. They're making business deals with each other.
yeah.
It's like oh yeah, we got. Because if I were to go off on Xbox fans, it's like how's that Sea of Thieves? Hmm? It's like how are your exclusives that are eventually getting ported over to the PC? I mean, Cuphead was good.
But now it's on the Switch, and I think
Yeah,
it
but
even
that's
got
the
more
thing. I
content
didn't
on the
play
Switch,
Cuphead for the Xbox One. I played Cuphead for the Switch, and I had fun on the Switch.
and it's on PC too.
So,
I mean, that's the
I
thing.
the,
You only get a Switch and a PS4 just to play the exclusives that won't, for a fact, won't go on PC.
yep.
But even then, even PS4 is losing a lot of their shine on exclusives. I mean, there are again, PS4 has them. Just saying, like, it's getting less and less.
This is just reminding me of a video YouTuber Alpha Omega Sin to where he made a video addressing this issue to where he had the same point I have. I do not care about your platform of choice. I just want to play the game.
But and then the thing is that and then as far as that, if I'm trying to play a game on a specific console and it's giving me problems that it wouldn't give me problems in a previous console or PC, then there should be like there's no reason for no for there shouldn't be any reason to be like, why do you just to call people to just shut people down by calling them elitist. It's like I have a problem because I was willing to put my indifference to the console aside to play this game. But if I can't even get the full experience that I could have got, that I had no problem doing on a previous hardware, it's not worth it.
And I can honestly say the thing that got me on this path, well, this philosophy is after when the Dreamcast died, that was it. I just stopped caring about the console wars altogether. Cause I had a GameCube. My brother had a PlayStation. He eventually got him an Xbox for a limited time. I had a PlayStation 3. He messed it up. I got me a 360 so he wouldn't mess it up, and then he got a PlayStation 3, and so on. So this whole thing of, oh, you're playing on the system that I don't like. It's like, no, just play the game you want to play. Like if you want to play Final Fantasy 13 on the PlayStation 3, I'm not gonna stop you from playing it on the PlayStation 3. I got it on 360, so I'm gonna play it on 360. Or now I have it on the PC platform, which it has like 4K support and all.
Yeah,
But you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
You play what you want to play, but you don't try to shame people or demand them to come to your platform of choice because that's just only going to make them not want to play your platform of choice even more.
yeah,
Especially if you trying to shit on other platforms. It's like Nintendo fans do it, PlayStation it's like all the fans do it. I get it. It's
and
like but it's like no console's perfect. PC has its problems too. But whenever you trying to alienate people, but you claim, oh, I just want people to play it. No, you're not helping it. You just making it worse for everyone, and you're making it to where people can't enjoy your platform because you're too elitist to get past that.
yeah, and I think
I mean, I
we're
don't. Keep in mind, I'm not a fan of the realistically gritty first person shooter games, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to be all like, oh, don't play Call of Duty, don't play Battlefield. No, if you want to play Call of Duty, you want to play Battlefield, go. Just go. Get your subscriptions, talk, and shoot the shit. Like have fun.
yeah,
But it's just those moments to where the Xbox fans are jumping on the Nintendo and then PlayStation fans for liking RPGs. But the Nintendo fans are being elitists because we're the oldest we're the oldest company in the franchise, and the Sony people are like, oh well, you don't want to be with the jocks or the babies. You want to come to the real system. It's like just shut up. It's like yes, that includes you PC elitists. It's just all of you. Shut up and enjoy your games.
yeah.
And that is my rant. You have anything to add to that?
No, I think it's about time we start wrapping it up. It's just been a lot of things, and yeah, I guess my closing statement on that is that Microsoft dropped the ball. Sega could have maybe done something. There's a lot of could have, would have, should have for this Fantasy Star beta. It could have been handled better, but it wasn't. And because it wasn't, people were mad. And because people were mad, people think they shouldn't deserve to be mad because, hey, just be thankful that you got the game. And it's like, what? And it just leads into a spiral of arguments until everyone forgets what the whole issue was in the first place.
Which the issue is we're not. We love the game. I love the game. I got over 2,000 hours in this game, and I put another 2,000 hours in this game. That's not the problem. I want to play the game, but it's bogged down with all these technical issues. That's what everyone is frustrated about.
Hmm. And it doesn't. And what happens is that leaves a bad impression for when they wanted to play it on, like, for me, Final Fantasy 14. Like, if I played it when it first came out, and then I try to get people into it, I probably would have, it's like you want people who can experience, like, get a chance to experience this game and get more people interested into the series, only for them to lose interest because the beta just kind of like, oh, I don't want to play this game, and it just alienates their fan base, and it doesn't help that. I mean, Fantasy Star is pretty big in Japan. There are some very diehard fans here in the U.S., but it could have gotten more traction, and even almost, like, I think if it got the right traction and did it right, and the U.S. one released at the same time and got the same amount of support as it did, I think it would have rivaled the infamous Final Fantasy 14, which took the throne of Warcraft. But who knows?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I'm getting hungry myself. I'm about
It's
to go
about
get
time we
me
wrap it up.
some dinner.
I gotta get stuff ready. I got work in the morning. Gotta do all this. But as usual, we're your host, Ed Tama 23.
And bringing the salt
Yep.
and the haters, apparently.
But it doesn't matter. It's all gonna. It either it's all gonna. I believe it's gonna be all right. Y'all guys have a good night.